Middle East remains tense amid this fragile temporary truce, even after President Trump backed down from his threat to eliminate a, quote, whole civilization in Iran.
And joining us
47 years of extortion.
The former Republican Congresswoman Marjorie
That doesn't
Taylor
sound familiar.
Greene of Georgia. Congresswoman, thanks so much for joining us. I know you recently called for the president to be removed from office under the 25th Amendment to the Constitution.
Did not know that.
After that threat that he made about destroying the whole civilization of Iran. The president has a long history of shocking and unprecedented social media
wacky
posts.
pants.
Why was
Trump
this
gone?
the final straw for you?
Because it's absolute madness.
Because he
How
fired
can
me.
Any person that is mentally stable call for an entire civilization of people to be murdered,
that's wild.
to be wiped out,
It's
to never
fucking
come
wild.
back again? That's what the president called for. And that shows that there's serious instability in his thinking, that he would, not only would he even say that in a private room, perhaps with his advisors, but actually go to his megaphone, his Truth Social, and post that for the entire country and the entire world. And
Permanent record of it.
This is it's unreal. This should never be tolerated. I know it's a very difficult, hard stretch to see it actually coming through, but the conversation needs to be had, and he's out of control. And people within the administration need to step up, take responsibility, and rein this in.
I can never tell where her
And
teeth end and her
officials, as
lips
we've heard,
begin.
have said that he was ready to
It's like
follow
this
through
like
with this
meshy
threat.
zone.
Just hours after he made it, he announced this 2-week ceasefire that's still very tenuous at the moment. The White House is claiming it was the president's
really
tough
hot.
rhetoric that brought Iran to its knees.
She's
What
really
do you
hot
say
for
to
a
that?
TV anchor. Holy shit.
I'm sorry, that's not tough rhetoric. It's insanity. It's calling for the murder of an entire civilization of men, women, children, of innocent civilians.
Gotta give it to her. She's not wrong.
That is not what I would call proper or even decent negotiations. There should be negotiations happening, and they did happen. And J.D. Vance, the vice president, was the one that helped bring that ceasefire. It doesn't seem to be much of a ceasefire, but it is supposedly a ceasefire. And that happened through negotiations through J.D. Vance. And J.D. Vance did not go to his social media and threaten to murder every single man, woman, and
Yeah,
child
because he wants
in
to
Iran.
try and run for
Presumably,
president. He knows
we
not
can
to
only
commit
presume
political
that would
suicide.
happen through nuclear bombs, because that's the type of horrific
I think he was
weaponry that would be
getting there,
used
too,
to wipe out an
with a
entire
nuke.
civilization. So no, I push back on that. And I think the American people fully agree. Everyone was outraged.
I just want to be clear, Congresswoman, do you genuinely believe President Trump had the intention of killing Iran's entire population of more than 90 million people
Yes.
if Iran had not agreed to a ceasefire?
Yes.
Is the U.S. military, for example, even capable of that?
Yes.
I don't think that our good men and women in the U.S. military would want to even carry something like that out.
I don't think they would either,
that's
but
the
I
other
think
thing.
they would.
And I think that's important to point out.
Just
our
because
men
they
and women
don't
in the
wanna do
military
it doesn't
are the
mean they
greatest
wouldn't
among us.
do it.
They're serving our country, defending our freedoms, and I'm so grateful to them, and I support them so much. But we should never have a commander-in-chief that would call for the great men and women of the United States military to wipe out an entire civilization and put that on their shoulders. And, you know, we've already got so many veterans that live with PTSD every single day in America, that can't sleep at night with terrible nightmares of the wars that they fought in foreign lands, foreign wars in foreign lands, not for America, for foreign countries and foreign purposes. And this is what the president was talking about. So I can only take him at his word, because those are the words that he spoke to the entire world.
No, you can't take him
I
at his
just want to
word.
follow up with that.
Take
I
him
mean, the
at
White
his
House has
word.
denied they were
What
going
a
to use
fucking
nuclear bomb.
crack
But
that
for
is.
critics of Trump, they're like, you know, look, how can you say no one saw this coming? Obviously, calling for the death of a whole civilization is at a different level. But as Wolf mentioned earlier, Trump has been known for his bombastic rhetoric, right? He's been doing that for years.
Yeah, this
And
isn't new.
You used to be a supporter.
This is just him
now
going
you're speaking out against him, but
pro.
people might be asking, well,
He was playing
didn't you
amateur
see this
ball for
coming?
years, and now he's gone full pro, and this is what it looks like.
Well, you know, I've always
It's
been a supporter of
terrifying.
President Trump for the policies. That's what I cared about. But
His
once he
policy
became
was to
president,
fire
he
your
changed
ass,
his
sweetheart.
policies.
So
What we
I wouldn't
campaigned
say
on
that.
was no more foreign wars. And President Trump said he was going to be the peace president. Well, he's gone from being the peace president to the war president.
piece of shit
and
president.
I don't support that at all. I'm not offended oftentimes by people's words. I mean, people on the right and the left have lots
Well,
of
that's because you're the
different
one who's
types of
saying them the
language
majority of
and
the time.
statements.
That's why you're not
However,
offended.
it's their actions that is what I pay attention to. And the president lost my support when he covered up the Epstein files and called me a traitor and wanted to
Yeah, that was
primary
hardcore.
me
That was
because I
hardcore.
supported
And she didn't
women
deserve
that
that
were
at
raped
all.
at
She
16 and
really
18 years
didn't.
old or 14 years old even. And I don't
Yeah,
support the
she
president
got it
in
bad.
going
Like,
to
I'll
war
give
in
it to her.
Iran.
Like,
and what we campaigned
talk about
on
getting
and
screwed
what
with your
President
pants
Trump promised
on.
America was to put America first. And now we've got rising inflation, gas prices are going out of control, but we also have to put the blame on both parties. $100 in 2021 is now only $80 in 2026.
You can't put the
because of
blame
the
on both
declining
parties.
value
There's only one
of the
party
dollar.
that's making
So,
tariffs.
Pamela and
There's only
Wolf,
one
I
party
blame
that's
both
causing
parties
war.
For this, and it's an absolute
There's only
failure
one
to the
party
American
who's in
people,
control
but
of the
I cannot
government.
support a president that wants to murder an entire civilization of people.
Right, and
Yeah.
you called
And,
for
you
his
know,
removal through the 25th Amendment after
That's why it's great to
that
see her
threat.
saying this, because
When
that's
you
the
look at the
ultimate thing.
polls, I
Like,
wonder what your reaction is.
Crazy
when it comes
town
to
is
MAGA
over for her
Republicans,
for
people
now.
who identify
It's on
as
pause.
MAGA. 9 out of 10 support this war
Because
And
they're
that's
fucking morons.
Pretty consistent across the board. How do you explain
They're sheep.
that?
Sheep always want to
Well, I
go
would
where the
explain that by
farmers
breaking
tell
down
them to
the
go.
demographics of that poll. The polling that I have seen is it's mainly the baby boomers, Republicans that watch Fox News all day, every day, are the ones that are primarily, mostly supporting this war in Iran. However, it's the majority of Americans, especially 50
Who
and under,
fucking
that do
hate
not
it.
support this war in Iran. And I would argue
Man.
that it's if the baby boomer generation, my parents' generation, whom I love very much,
The worst
needs
generation.
to think clearly about how a war in Iran could have long-term implications for their children and their grandchildren, and really can
don't
reconsider
give a
their
fuck.
support for that. We've got the Strait of Hormuz is barely open with very few ships going through. The price of oil is skyrocketing.
Yeah, I gotta pause it real quick. They don't give a fuck about thinking about their future generation because they're at the point in their life they're going to be dead within a few years, the majority of them, from heart attacks and all these kind of fucking diseases because they've been, protesting vaccines their whole lives and they've never hugged a puppy. So it's all going to come crashing down onto their heart. They don't care about any generation. They are the most selfish generation that has ever existed on this fucking planet. All they do is give a shit about what they have, what they're getting in the moment. Perfect example of this. In my family, my mother, when she bought our family home in the state of New York in 1986 or 87, I believe, 2-story house, 5 acres, like a gun range, all kinds of things that came with it. Animal pens, cost her $45,000 for the house, the land, the whole lot. Cost $45,000 for the whole thing. Could you imagine buying any property or home on any level for 45 fucking grand? No. It is a wild, wild fucking dream. And then they wonder why everything is so shit with my generation. It's because you assholes set up the system so you could buy a house at $45,000 and enjoy your fucking life. And because you made it that way, I'm the asshole who's now got to pay for it. I'm the one who's got to deal with it because you got away with murder and I got to pay for the fucking crime. Unpause.
This isn't going to end quickly. This is going to have economic, profound effects for a very long time. And it'll take a long time to get back on track, especially if this war continues and continues to escalate. So my prayers are with those that are negotiating a ceasefire and a peace deal. I very much
It's got to
hope
be
that
terrifying
JD
to be
Vance
over
is
there right now.
successful, because it seems to be his voice is the one that is really pushing for peace and to end this. He was opposed to the war to begin with, as there's been many reports that have said that. And I really hope to see people in leadership in Washington, D.C. get back on track and care about regular Americans, because regular Americans are sick and tired of all of this, and they're tired of not being able to afford life. And they very much want the drama in Washington to end so that they can carry on and enjoy their everyday lives. They're not interested in killing people in foreign lands. I can tell you that much.
Congresswoman, with Congress out of town on recess once again right now, we really didn't hear the Republican leadership.
Holy
respond to
shit,
President
who's
Trump's
going to
threat
get
to
popped
eliminate
on my
an
fucking
entire
neighborhood?
civilization.
Good
we
God.
did, however, see many Democrats join you in calling for President Trump's removal from office. What do you make of the fact that you seem to be more on the side of Democrats on this specific issue rather than your own party? What do you think?
She's
Just
not
to be
drinking the
clear,
Kool-Aid
Wolf,
anymore.
I'm not a Democrat, so I want to make that
And
clearly known.
we wouldn't
None
have
of my
you.
positions have changed.
I mean, I'm happy
but
that she's,
I think
come
I'm
around.
one of the few
She's not
honest
crazy
Republicans
town
willing
anymore,
to
but
talk
still.
about it. Everyone else is just afraid to speak out against the president because they're terrified of having an ugly Truth Social post dropped on them.
Yeah,
or
they don't want to get
primary challenge
primaried.
like
Yeah.
what's happening to Thomas
They don't want to get
Massey,
primaried.
supported by dark
They don't want to
money
lose the
from
money, and they don't want
billionaires that
their
don't even
careers
live
to
in
be
Thomas
over.
Massey's,
This is nothing more than
Kentucky,
people who are
the
afraid
4th
of losing
District
their
of
fucking
Kentucky.
jobs.
That's what other Republicans are terrified. So they won't speak up. They're cowards. And I really have to call out the speaker, Mike Johnson, who calls
Takes a
himself
lot of balls to
Christian.
say that.
I don't know how he can stand by
Surprisingly.
those words. That's what was so offensive to me. Any Christian serving in Congress or serving in the Senate and serving in the administration really needs to take pause and ask themselves, as a Christian, do you really support the president calling for the annihilation, calling to wipe out an entire civilization of people?
Yeah, if you do,
And
you're out of your
I don't
fucking
think you
mind.
should, because that's not what Jesus said, and that's not what Christianity is all about. And so I think that, yeah, I'm probably one of the few. It was me, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, and a few others that are willing to call it out and speak out against this, because we're willing to be honest. It's not about aligning ourselves with right or left or Democrat or Republican. It's about being honest.
You know, I'll give it to Marjorie Taylor Greene because I was the complete antithesis of what she wants in a supporter. Hated her, hated everything she was doing, just a total fucking monster. She didn't deserve how she got ousted from the party and from the administration. She didn't deserve it at all. She was very, very loyal all the way through. And that's one thing that even as a Marjorie Taylor Greene former hater, I'll give it to her. Like, I was a hater on her, but she was loyal as shit. She was loyal as shit, and loyalty is the hardest currency in the whole fucking world to come by. It is extraordinarily hard. And Trump is the only guy I have ever seen in my life who will take your loyalty and will shove it up your ass without so much as a second thought. And she now knows exactly what it's like to feel that, unfortunately. And it is also kind of unfortunate that it's only now, post Trump up your bum, she's really saying the truth, and she's starting to speak more truth. It really goes to show that once you're out of the circle, you really start seeing how fucked the circle is. But I did feel bad for her how she got out, because she really did just try and help those victims and all those girls who were just horrible victims of Epstein and everything that was going on. And that was the one thing that I universally supported her on. And I couldn't believe that there was nobody else who supported her. There was like one other Republican in the whole fucking party who was with her. And I don't even know where he is now. He's probably gone too. But, it's just, I did feel she didn't deserve the way she got ousted. She was a loyal public servant to her administration. and they burned her at the stake for doing it, you know. And now we're seeing it over and over again. She didn't get fired. She might as well have been. You know, it's the closest that a congressman can come to being fired is getting the hell out of Dodge because the president is, you know, going to drop a house on your head. So very interesting. We'll see how it goes. Ceasefire for 2 weeks. But yet there's no ceasefire. Like, there's still missiles firing every day. So we'll see how it goes.